Hi there, I'm Ken Carson with the owners of Xybix, and behind me is one of our straight style imaging desks. This video, I'm going to teach you how to get your equipment on, keep the cabling clean, get everything to work, and just tips and tricks to make it go right. So the first thing you want to do is leave a little space between the wall and the back of the unit so you can get around behind. Second, let's find the power cord coming out of the grommet hole here. That's your main power cord. Let's get it plugged in, and then what we're going to do is we'll run it all the way up because it's much easier to work on when it's in the up stage. So what I'm going to do is just push my finger on the arrow and the arrow, so I actually have both surfaces going up at the same time here. Let's run it all the way to the very top. So we will pre-run USB cables for you. In this case, we've got 3. We can run up to 8. And the computer's hung here and ready to go. So we're going to be able to plug these 3 in to the appropriate slots on the back of the computer here and make sure they're all working correctly. So you can do your mouse, keyboard, transcription, whatever you need on there. I've got some extra cable here, so instead of just letting it dangle down, so I've coiled up my extra cable, I've zip tied it. I'm just going to tuck it in at the top here. And let's just clean some of that up. And then we've got everything managed here for the USB cables. So now we've got all our USB cables managed, and let me show you where they are on the other end of this. So the cables that we just plugged into the back of the computer are managed through what we call an energy chain here that allows them to move up and down with the table. And then here is what is called the data dock, where the other end of those cables come out. So we've got USB here, I've got another USB here. We can also do RJ45. So what we're gonna have happen here is you're gonna be able to plug your keyboard, your mouse, your microphone, things like that into here, depending what equipment you have. So on this side of the imaging desk here, I have the cables from a Cat 5 or Cat 6. Now these usually are gonna come from your wall, and they can come up through and into the system here through the energy chain and plug into the computer. So let us know if you need these on the right or the left. We can help with managing that before the imaging desk shows up. So now we have the keyboard surface pretty well taken care of with our USB cables. Now we're going to start working on getting the monitors on there, which is very important. So let's talk about the best way to do that. I'm going to lower this surface down so I'm not reaching up with the weight of the heavy monitors. And then we're going to start working on the cables first, and then we're going to get the monitors hung. So let's get to work on our probably HDMI or DVI cables, whatever's being used with your monitor. So let's start with that. So at the back of the roller vision we have, and this moves back and forth, don't forget that, we have cable management trough here. And this is easy. I'm going to pull the cover off this for now and just set it aside. And I just pop this guy off, okay, and then set it aside, and then we'll work on managing the cable pathway. All right, so I've got my HDMI cable for this case. And I'm going to plug it into the back of the computer here, and then we're going to manage the cable through the back of the imaging desk here. So first thing we're going to do is just get it plugged in just like you would with any cable. So what I did is I took the cable and I tucked it up into what we call a J channel in the back of this. So the cable goes inside of here and then comes out on this side. What we're going to do next is we'll run the cable through here and then into this energy chain. And this allows it to move back and forth, as you can see. Let me grab a straight slot screwdriver and I'll show you how to get cables run into the energy chain. Okay, I got my straight slot screwdriver. What I'm going to do is put it in the side here, and then I just do a twist and these doors open. And I'm just going to work my way down the entire thing. Now, I already have some cables running here. And what I like to do is keep this top one closed until the very end. That just keeps things from sliding around or falling out. So I'll just work my way down, and then we'll be able to run the cable really easily through here. Another thing you can do is maybe undo every other one and kind of fish the cable through. 2 different ways to work it. I like to just open them all up. So I've got my HDMI cable, and I'm just going to put it in the trough here. I'm just going to run this through here, feed it out so that will fit into my center monitor. And then we'll run all the cables we need for the right monitors, the left monitors, and then we can just go through and start closing these doors again and get everything sealed back in here. All right, our next step with these large, heavy Barco monitors. This is one of the older models, and I think these are about 55 pounds. The new ones are getting lighter. Either way, we need to use what we call our heavy-duty monitor kit. Comes in a box like this. So let's open it up and I'll show you what's inside, and I'm gonna give you one big trick that's gonna make life easier for you. So in here, I've got the mount that will mount it to the roller vision. This is the knuckle itself. I've got some spacers here, and I'll show you how to use those. I've got some different size screws and different lengths, depending how many spacers we use. I've got some basic instructions, but what's important in here is I have a 4.5 millimeter hex. You need to get that out, and I'm going to show you how to save yourself a lot of time and hassle. So this is the heavy duty monitor mount. We also call it a knuckle. Here's the 4.5 millimeter hex I told you about. The trick with this is you can tighten it through here, and what this does, it tightens to keep the monitor from sagging forward from too much weight. You need to tighten this a little bit before you put the heavy duty monitor on it. The problem with these, and they work great, but you have to take the monitor off to tighten a little more. So let's do that up front. Generally what I do on these is I give them almost a full turn of tighten for these heavy monitors. I've already done it in this one, but you can just move it whichever way you need it. That loosens it, that gets it tighter. That feels pretty good. That's a good snug on there. Do that first before you mount it to the monitor, and that'll save you time setting everything up. So here's the monitor. I've got it off on the side table. I'm not doing this on the imaging desk, so I've got it over here. Here's the spacers we were talking about. Now for this older Barco, I've got two large, thick spacers, and then I like having the metal one on the outside. I'm gonna kind of put this one screw through here and line it up, and then from there, we can either grab a screwdriver and thread that in, but I like to have my handy drill gun, and I'm just gonna get it started in there like that, and then I'm gonna get the next one started across from it, wiggle that through, and there we go, I got that started. Next, we're gonna get the monitor mount on there, the knuckle. So here is the monitor knuckle. It generally has, this is the downside, the longer piece here should be facing towards the work surface or the floor. And we're gonna just put this on, and I'm gonna slide these back where they go. And now these other two top holes are lined up. And once again, I'm gonna grab my drill gun just to make this go a little bit faster here. And we're gonna get that, wiggle it in a little bit. I'm gonna go down and get that snug. I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna get this one snug. I'm gonna tighten up this one, tight, and then I'm gonna come over to this side. Get that tight, I'm gonna come down here. Okay, now that I have it on here, we just have one more easy step. And we're gonna get the back of this mounted. Now this will connect to the roller vision. You'll see that in a second. This is gonna go in here. So let me show you these clips that we have and how to use these. These pins, clips, are gonna hold everything in place. To get them out, to start out, you need to just push this blue button, and then that will release them. So what you can see here, we've got a lot of holes, and these are height options. So I'm gonna put this in about here because I want the monitor to run a little bit lower. Push the blue button again, let's give this a wiggle, and then we'll get this in through connected. Wiggle on that side. Same on this, I push the blue button to run this through. And now the most important part is you need two people to hold this and mount it on the roller vision. And I'm gonna show you one more trick how to do that here real quick. So you can see this is gonna drop in. This will be mounted at the back of the monitor mount. And the trick is to tilt the whole monitor back a little bit, slide that in there, and then this will come in. The next thing you do then to lock it in place is thread it up. But before you do that, let's move it side to side and get it lined up where you want. So now we're gonna put this back on the monitor mount, and then two people, we're gonna hang the monitor. Okay, so two people, and we've got this, and remember I've got the top up, and then we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna do that kind of tilt it in and hang it. Okay, so we're gonna just gently go in. I'm looking, I can see it. Drop it down, we're good to go. Let's get our side to side adjustment now. So now I can slide this a little bit side to side. The trick is to take a little weight off of it. So I'm gonna line this up, what I think is gonna be close to the middle here. Okay, so I've got it centered. All right, the last thing we do is I take this thumb screw and I get that nice and tight, which looks like it is, and then that locks it in place and we're good to go. So here's what we call a scissor mount, and we usually use this on the side monitors, whether they're diagnostic or not. One reason we use it is it gives you for app depth in addition to the roller vision, and it will let you get all the monitor screens the same distance from your eye. The large MP monitors are thick, and we want to keep all the screens just nice and tight up front. So this is what we call the scissor mount, and it's going to come like this. Same functionality we just talked about. So I want to make sure I've got this facing towards the bottom. And then this will line up with the holes in the back of the monitors, the VESA holes. And this one's a great example to use our thumb screws. You don't need to get a screwdriver or anything else to hold this up. You get these guys threaded in. Let's always do all four. We want to be safe with the monitors. And then we're going to do the same process to hook this thing and hang it onto the roller vision bar. So the thumb screws are very easy to do, and then once we get all four on, we're going to hook and kind of hang this on the roller vision like we did the other monitor. It's very easy to do. Okay, this lighter one I can hang by myself. It wouldn't hurt if you had two people, but I've got to get this one. Now you see I lowered the keyboard surface all the way down, so I'm going to hook it in here, drop it down, and then we can adjust it and get the monitor heights aligned up. Now you can see we've got all the monitors hung and we're pretty much ready to get to work. Everything's plugged in, we can add our keyboard, our mouse, our mic, and everything's ready to go. So if you got questions about the setup of the station, give us a shout, we're here to help.